good. We all feel together. Thank goodness. Okay, let's hide this at the bottom so we can get through this. Okay, so what we are learning about today is attracting the right clients and firing the rest. This is a 4-part series, I guess is what we'll call it. And so week 1 is about firing your clients. How, when, and why, because you should fire some clients, which is hard for some people to stomach, but we're going to talk about what it looks like, why you should fire them, how you fire them, and when you're like, we're out, we are done, this is ridiculous. Okay. The first one that we're talking about, well, let's back up. You have 4 types of clients typically that come into your business. You have your fans, you have friends, frustrators, and foes. So those are all, we'll talk about each one of those each week. This week, they're kind of self-explanatory too. But this week we are going to talk about the foes. That page is missing, but it's fine. Here we go. We're going to talk about the foes. We're going to talk about who they are, how to recognize them, and what to do when you have these type of people in your business. I want you guys to be thinking of your business as if you are creating a world for your fans. Obviously, your fans are the people that you love and love you and are just raving about your business and love you so much. I want you to think about how you can create an entire world for them. Sometimes we talk about targeted marketing and it gets like a little confusing. It gets hard to say, well, who and how do I exclude people and how do I include people and what does that look like? Think about it as if you are creating an actual space that is just for these people that you serve so well and that you absolutely love. In my 6-month program, we actually draw our planets or our worlds that we've created for our fans, and we talk about what they like and what they don't like, all of those types of things. Again, today we are focusing on the foes because when you have really difficult clients, they are ruining the experience for everybody, and we just want to redirect them to go orbit around someone else's planet, right? These people aren't always bad people for everybody. They're not great people to mix into your business. So our goal today is to learn how to identify these people so we can move forward. So what is a foe? A foe is somebody who makes your clients feel unsafe. This doesn't have to be physically unsafe. Maybe they feel unsafe to share. They feel unsafe to ask questions. They feel mentally or physically drained by these people. They ruin experiences for clients. They leave vicious reviews no matter what you do. They are never satisfied. They are never happy. We all know one of these people. They treat you and your staff very poorly. I hope just from that little description, you guys are like, oh yeah, I know who that is. If not, I'm going to share some stories so you really, really know who these people are. We want you to see them coming and know how to redirect them very lovingly and very kindly, and sometimes not as kindly, but mostly. So we're going to talk about Jeff first. These are not real names. Yeah, they're not the real names of the people. So Jeff came to my business 4 years ago, and I was doing some website design at that time. And he came and said, hey, I need you to redo my website. He had already gone to somebody else because I was too expensive. He came back to me, I need you to redo my website. And I said, you know what? The girl who does websites for me, because it was something I was contracting out, I said, she's on maternity leave and she's not going to be back for about 3 months. And he came right back and he said, wow, things sure have changed. In my day and age, women had babies and were back to work the next day. And I was like, excuse you. He was super aggressive to me. He was super aggressive to my staff. My job as a business leader, as a leader in my business, is to help protect my people. I can't have someone like this mingling with my people and expecting them to want to continue to interact with my business. He was so incredibly, incredibly aggressive. Your job as a leader is to help protect your people. So when you have these aggressive people coming in, they're being rude to you, your staff, your clients, they're screaming in your restaurant, whatever that looks like, part of your job as a leader is to stand up and say, I am so sorry. That's not okay here. Part of your job as a leader is to protect your people and continue to create a safe space for them. If we had people here in We Meet Wednesdays talking about I mean, just ripping everyone apart and saying how much they hated and this is ridiculous and you guys are stupid. That's not a good atmosphere. We're not coming back, right? So you need to make sure you're paying attention to that as you're building your business. We want to talk about this at the beginning so you can see these people coming and know what to do when they're there. Second story is James. James is actually my husband's name. So like, this is not a real person. When I was 17, I managed a pizza place and I had a bunch of staff that I was managing and taking care of. And I was in the back of the store and I heard someone screaming, like viciously screaming. And I made my way up to the front and I had this little, really cute, she's just this tiny little person. Her name was Angel and she was working the till. And he was savagely screaming in her face. And he was mad because he had done the math on our prices and we had overcharged him with tax somehow by 2 cents. And she didn't have the ability to reopen the till. And so she's like, I'm so sorry. Do you want the 2 cents out of the penny thing? And he's just screaming and screaming at her. And I got involved and I'm only 17. My overarching goal was to satisfy him, was to make him happy. Even though he's savagely yelling at one of my team members that I'm supposed to be in charge of, my thing was to make him happy. I think I gave him all of his food for free. The whole entire restaurant is staring. Everyone's upset. Everyone's freaked out. This guy's crazy. And I gave him all of his stuff for free and appeased him. When you have foes in your business, your job is not to make them feel better. It is to send them away, right? Send them away. The correct response to that would have been to give him his money back. If we are not the right place for you, that is okay. We don't tolerate this behavior in our building. Here's your money back. I hear Subway makes really good subs or whatever, right? Your job is often to send them away and not to appease them and not to cater to them. Your business was built, your world that you're creating is built for your fans, is built for your clients that you love. It is not built for these foes, these people who are there to tear other people down and to ruin the experience for everyone. That guy, James, he ruined the entire experience for everyone there eating lunch. He ruined work shifts for this girl who bawled in the back for 20 minutes because she was screamed at. It's not the kind of person you should be catering to in your business. You get to say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Bye. You get to head somewhere else, okay? We do not have to put up with that ever. So the question I always get is, how the crap do you fire people? I made you a list. Online, we also need to be protective of our world and our people and make sure that we're not inviting in people who are causing conflict just to cause conflict. You can 1000% just block them. I'm so sorry. You're not a part of this anymore. And we're going to block them and move on. You don't even have to say you're sorry. You realize none of these actually say I'm sorry. I just say it because that's who I am as a human. Another one, you can totally say we are booked. I ran a photography studio for about 10 years. I had blacklisted clients. When you put their name into my CRM, it came up black across their name and we were always booked because I am booked for them. I am so sorry. I'm not available for you. I cannot work with these people who treat my people this way, who treat others that way, who treat me this way. I am going to have to ask you to leave. I don't think that we're a good fit is a really great way to send people on to. And sometimes you're just not a great fit and you can't give them what they need and they will be better suited somewhere else. Sometimes they're just not the person for your business. Sometimes they're just someone you need to get out. Okay? Tons of ways to fire people. Also, set boundaries early in your business. Setting boundaries isn't giving people a bunch of rules. It is saying, this is how my business runs. So I can say, I don't work on Mondays, which means I will not be replying to your messages on Mondays. And that's true. I don't work on Mondays. I don't work on Mondays. I will not be replying on Monday. And as soon as you start putting these things out there, we're not available 24/7. Please refer to the spreadsheet for more information. We can get started after you pay me. A lot of these foes will self-select out because they know they can't push you around anymore. You're saying, nope, I'm showing up and I'm here and this is what it looks like to work with me. So my mom has a really good story about this. She also has her own business. She had a woman coming in. She was a coach for some high school and she just kept texting and calling. She was mad about everything. She's yelling about everything. She wanted them to be available after hours. She wanted them to be available on Sundays and on all the weekends. sorry, I got a hair. All the stuff. She wanted them to just be available all the time. Incredibly picky, incredibly picky. My mom sat down. We talked about this a lot and kind of came up with a plan. And the plan was for her to set the boundaries. And so she said, Jana is who we're going to call her. She said, Jana, you know what? This isn't how my business runs. This is what we do. This is what it looks like to work with us. This is how things run here. And that's a perfect way for this Jana lady to decide to self-select out. That doesn't work for her. She immediately switched gears. A lot of times when you start setting this stuff up, I'm so sorry, we don't tolerate that here. You can't speak to people this way. I don't allow this, that type of thing. A lot of people will switch gears. Jana is one of their best clients now. And once they said, you cannot push us around, this is how we work, she switched very quickly. It's kind of like a kid. A kid will push boundaries again and again and again. It's totally okay. We're going to set boundaries from the beginning. You should know what that looks like in your business. What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? What does that look like? Okay. The next question is, when do you fire them? As soon as you realize they're a problem. Right? We're not catering to these people. We're not going to hang out. You can have a conversation where you're like, hey, you know what, Steve, this isn't how we do things here. This is what it looks like. Give them a chance to change. If they're going to do that really quickly, I'm the guy who's screaming at my till, my register girl at the pizza place. I can say, hey, you know what? It's not okay to speak to my staff that way. We don't really tolerate that. And give him a chance to fix it. Or I can just say, bye. These are not the people you need in your business, and they're causing harm to your business. They're slowing your growth down. They are making it uncomfortable for other people to be there. They are not making it a great, wonderful environment for the people that you do want in your business. So the answer is, as soon as you realize there's a problem, that's when you need to say, hey, you know what? I don't think we're a good fit. It's not going to work out for me. All right. So this is what I want you guys to do. This is your piece in here. And I'm going to leave my slides up, but you guys can talk and I'll ask you some questions. But I always forget the questions people ask me as soon as it comes out of their mouth. So I put it here for you so you can all remember. The first thing I want you to write down is I want you to write down who your very, very favorite client is. If it's just like a name, I have a girl named Jillian that I freaking love working with. She is a gem. Write down her name. You can write down a little bit about her if you want, but mostly I just need names. I'll stop talking for like 30 seconds. If you could fill your business with one person, like those are the only people, that's the only person you work with, who would it be? And if you don't have a name yet, that's totally okay. Why don't you guys share? Does anyone want to tell me who, as other people think about it, who is your favorite person to work with in your business? Tell me about them. What do they like? What do they do? Jennifer.
I love working with this girl, Amanda. She came to work. She came to work. She was like enthused. Like she basically showed up. She had her Google Docs up. She did her homework. She was like really active on Voxer, super engaged, and she was like really passionate about the work that we were doing. And she was just like ready. She was like ready to go. She was exciting. She was enthused, And definitely we had tough moments, but I think it was important for the growth. And so that's what I just loved. And she was like open to the growth and the hard work.
Cool. Who else has a favorite that they can tell me about?
I've got one I can talk about for a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to shorten her name to Jen because she's got a unique name like I do. But Jen is fantastic because whenever we have sessions, she comes in and it's like the transformative cells are in her body. She is always ready to do the work. She dives right in. She lets it all out. She sits in her body with her emotions. And when I check back in with her, she's almost always had some kind of epiphany or transformation. She's a freaking goddess. I absolutely love her.
Yes. See, I love it. I like how you guys line up when you talk about your favorite people too. Okay. Tell me, anyone else have a favorite they want to tell us about?
I will. I
have a client named Kim who I love, and she found me and was like, I am just ready to change. And she has session after session just taken what we've done and then said, okay, now what more can we do? And what more can we do? And what more can we do? And she's just fun, and I like talking with her as much as I like working with her and helping her.
Awesome. Awesome. My favorite client is Jillian. I already said that. She is a freaking go-getter. She gets the stuff done. She's always there for her check-ins. She is dedicated. And I think that's kind of the like theme that we all like is the people who care and are dedicated. Okay. I want you to remember that. Well, first of all, I just realized that I had my personal chat pulled up and not the group chat pulled up. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just a little bit slow. So I'm going to read those too. But I'll get to it in just a second. Okay, so the next thing I want you to think of, you know who your people are. They make you light up. They make you happy. Your ideal person. I want you to write down what turns them off. What makes them feel nervous? What makes them feel unsafe? What would ruin your business for them? What behaviors make them absolutely crazy? And make a list. Know what would send them running from your business or not want to hang out with you.
I can share mine if.
Yes, I would love to hear it.
Okay, so I think this is a common theme between all my clients because I couldn't really hate on any one of them. This is an easier question for me. I think the lack of consistency and lack of communication would be big turnoffs for my ideal clients.
Okay. I think that's huge.
They want to know that I'm there or where I'm at if I'm doing some work for them, like regular updates. That consistency that they or dependability. If I'm not dependable, if they don't associate the word dependable with what I do, then I'll lose them immediately.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What makes you like what happens in your life or what clients do you bring on that make you undependable for other clients? Does that make sense?
Yes, I don't. So if there is a client that is extremely demanding in terms of like if they are extremely insecure or require a lot of time and attention and individual hand holding, then for those, either I have to have a lighter client load at that time in order to cater to them. I'm not saying that I dislike those clients. It's just that in order to make sure that I'm available for the others, I have to have a lighter workload or I have to refuse taking those clients on.
Okay.
Until they're in a more stable situation.
Okay. Those clients, I'm going to skip just a little bit. Those clients are distractor clients, and we are going to talk about them next week. The ones that take you from other things. But I think it's good to know that people pulling you away from being consistent with everyone else is going to be a turnoff for the people you want to work with the most. Okay, so what else? Someone else goes. So you know who your people are. What would make them feel nervous or unsafe or unsure about your business? Jordy.
Well, the thing for me was feeling unheard, not respecting their time, like me not being grounded and kind of being all over the place, or if I'm just talking at them and not actually pulling from them and having a conversation.
Awesome. Who else? Anyone else? I can share mine. Are you ready? I have several groups and I have my business is helping businesses get started, women get started in business. A lot of these women are nervous. Starting a business is hard and it's scary, and a lot of people are taking huge risks. If I let people into my groups that are hypercritical, my people are done. they're done very quickly and they're out very quickly. So being hypercritical, anything like that. People who talk over them, I am an interrupter, but like I'm working on it. People who talk over them, that's a huge issue there. People who don't understand what they're going through. A lot of the women I work with are mothers. So if anyone's talking down about those types of things, that's a huge turnoff as well, that they're like completely out. Okay, anyone else have anything they want to share? There's some in the comments that I loved. We're feeling okay? Okay, I'm moving forward. All right. My next question is, who do you hate working with? And I know that Artie was like, nobody, because I love everyone, and that means she's a better person than me. So that's fine.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there aren't people I hate working with. I'm just saying there aren't any that I hate working with. Like, I haven't chosen to work with the people that I.
Okay, so
I already said no.
okay, good. Okay, good. All right, so I want you to write that down. Is who you hate working with? Who is on a mission for free stuff all of the time? Who treats you terribly? Who is pulling you away from your goals instead of helping you drive towards them? Who always has something critical to say online? You can put just a name. And you can just put their name if there's like a person, or you can describe what they're like.
Or they require tons of revisions because they're not clear on what they wanted from the work in the first place. So they keep coming back to you for revisions. Like,
Yes.
they don't know what they want.
Yes.
I don't like working with those kind of people at all.
That's a huge reason. That's a huge reason I don't do websites anymore. Websites.
Any kind of design or artwork and stuff, it's a flat no.
For sure. For sure. Those people, sometimes that can be freaking hard. Okay. Does anyone want to share theirs? Did I give you enough time?
Oh yeah, I've got a good one. I've not run into any of these yet, but it burns my buns when I hear about it. People in the spiritual community who think that spiritual or heart-centered entrepreneurs should be giving their services away for free.
Bah!
No, absolutely not.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else? So avoid Debbie's. Okay. Anyone else that they just don't like working with? I do like you, Debbie. I promise. I'll give you some of mine because, like I said, I have a lot. I was a wedding photographer for a very long time. It was wonderful and terrible at exactly the same time. So one of mine that I know I didn't like working with. I did not like working with people who were hyper picky about things. So I'll talk about this in a minute. So I kind of created systems to make sure I could help filter them out, but I made a list of everything I didn't want. So if they needed I don't like big wedding parties. So that was a hard no for me. If you have more than 5 bridesmaids, we are not a match. Right? Those types of things, who I hate working with, who drains tons of my attention and time, all of those types of things. Okay. Now that we've written down, we know who is going to cause issues and kind of turn off our favorite clients. So what types of people do stuff like that? Who do we hate working with? What are the attitudes that are dragging us down? I want you to give this person, it can be Debbie, but sorry, Debbie. It can be, I want you to give them an actual name. So here, we don't work with Jeffs that hate women, apparently. It's better. Karens, exactly. We're giving them a name like a Karen. Brody, I love it. Okay. Next, we have some names. We know we're naming this person and we're looking for them. So the next thing we need to do is we need to identify the red flags for Brody, or I'm going to use Brody because I'm a Brody in the group, or Karen's, or whatever it is. We need to start identifying the red flags. So I already said one of mine for when I was a photographer, if you have too many bridesmaids, that is bigger than I'm willing to put up with. That's okay with me. And I want you to start writing that down. How do you start to know? Yelling at my clients, that's a hard done, right? What does this look like? What are the red flags for you? Won't pay on time, keep putting off payments. What does that look like?
I have to. So one of the first ones is I ask them to describe whatever they want. If they just as they go into that line of questioning, when they how clear they are about the project it becomes clear to me. So that in the first discovery call you can discount. And the other, I forgot what the other one was, so I'll come back.
Perfect. Who else? What are some red flags that you're like, I can see them coming?
Oh yeah, super defensiveness.
Yes.
So when you suggest something to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I've tried this. They've tried everything under the sun. Then why are they here having this conversation with me?"
Yes.
That's like that is like a big red honker for me. It's like, why are you here? Why are we having this discussion if you've already tried everything on the planet and then you're here for what?
Oh man.
Something new has been invented since, like, I don't know, sliced bread. So
Yeah. So one of my big ones.
that's a big no for me.
Yes. One of my big ones is similar. And like I said, I have a whole 6-month program for people. And if people, when they're filling out the form and then we're meeting, if they argue with me about the content that I'm teaching, I'm like, oh, we're not a good fit because I have so much to teach you and you don't want to hear it, which is fine, but we're not going to work together. And I also wanted to read Jennifer's because it made me laugh. She said, having ideas on how I can improve during the discovery call. Thanks, hard pass. Right. Okay, who else? Who else has red flags?
I can share. For me, being a coach is when I get someone that everything you try to help them move through, they're not coachable. Everything's a fight, everything's a disagreement when you're like, dude, I'm trying to help you. You want to be a coach.
And you paid me for this.
Or they don't even try. If you're giving them an opportunity, you tell them go and do ABC tasks. They won't even bother. After week one, it's like it's time for bye-bye.
All right, Jennifer had one.
Jennifer, unmute.
You're muted.
She ran away instead. It's totally fine. She's probably coming right back. All right. So, anyone else have red flags that you can see coming? Unteachable, we said that one. Argumentative.
Payment issues too. Like when they have a lot of questions about the payment early on, you're like, oh, I don't think you're good for it.
Yes. Put some red flags up for sure. I have a 6-month group coaching program. They want to pay in installments. Then they will get dripped out content. Each month you pay, you get more material unlocked. That's smart. And then there's people who go through the course and ask for a refund. Fantastic. People are great. Okay, Jennifer's back. Let's see what hers was. Okay, Jennifer, it's all you.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I have quite a few because I've fired several clients.
Way to be.
I have had clients be mad about services. I think because I didn't realize it early on. One, that they think they know more than you. Two, that they question you early on in the process, and you'll probably get a lot of questions before they even sign the contract because they want to clarify a lot of things. And three, those that are complaining about like doing the work. So to Jordy's point, not coachable in the sense of, when is this going to happen? And like, why is this not happening? And it's like, you've actually talked them through this process, but they're not actually doing the work.
Yes.
So, yeah. Girl, I love this content because I needed you.
Red flags.
First years in my business.
There are and as you go about in business, it kind of depends on how long you've been in business. If some of you are like brand new and you're like, I don't know, you'll start to find them, and there's consistencies. And we're not here to like bash all our clients or anything like that, but you do start to learn some consistencies within your industry where you're like, oh, this isn't going to work for me. It might work really well for another business owner. It might work really well for somebody else. It's not going to work for you. And that is totally fine. You don't ever have to feel bad about it. Exactly. I don't claim this energy. I am not taking what you're giving me. I am handing it back because I don't need that. Okay. Next step. We are going to make a plan to keep the foes off your planet. Shields up, right? We don't need them in here mingling with your clients that matter so much to you. Taking all of your time away, making sure you can't get other things done, leaving you bad reviews, even no matter what you do, asking for free stuff. So we're going to make a plan to keep them off your planet. This looks like, for me and for a lot of us here, is a really good onboarding system. So a good onboarding system is going to be like, I need you to fill out this form, or we have to have a meeting first, or something like that. So you can ask the questions. All the red flags that you just listed, those are some of your questions. Like, how many coaches have you had before me? If the answer is 32, that's a little bit of a red flag, right? If the answer is like, I've never tried a coach before and I'm really excited about this, that makes me feel like, hey, we can do this. If they've had 5, that might be a conversation we're still willing to have. Yes, and I think the selection process goes both ways too. If they want to, you want to make sure you're a good fit for them and that they're a good fit for you. I'm a little much for people sometimes. That's totally okay. We're not going to get along very well, and that's fine with me. I don't want them in a situation that they hate and I hate because they hate me, right? So we're going to give them, yes. So we're going to create a system to help. If you're a coach, if you have like an online program, something like that, that can be a really good onboarding system where you're asking all the questions. If you are a service-based business, you can again ask all the questions like that. If you're a product-based business, it's a little bit different. So if you're a product-based business, a lot of this stuff is going to come after they've walked into your store. It's going to come on the back end. It's going to come in different ways. So you're looking for things in different places. One of those things though could be, can I pay after it's delivered? People ask us that all the time. No. Those types of things. So you want to make sure that you have good policies in your business. We follow this every time. Has to be paid in full, especially if you are custom work. They have to at least make a deposit. They can't pay you later. Whatever that looks like for you, you're going to create kind of a system to filter out those people. So write down some of your ideas on that and share them. And then there is a second step to this. So we don't just want like a good system. We also want to have a plan once they got through the cracks of what we're going to do next. But write down a system for you first. And I said system like 80,000 times because I really, really love systems. All right. Someone share with me one of the processes that you have in place or you would like to put in place to kind of keep these foes off of your planet, to check them before they're actually part of your business.
I can share.
Yes.
I have a selection process. I like to work with people. I either do a call. So before I even do a call, I chat with people over instant messenger. If I don't like their general energy or vibe, then I don't schedule a call with them. If they move ahead, then okay. So we have a call, I'll talk to them, we'll generally get to know each other. And I like to do a 90-minute call rather than a rushed 15 or 30-minute intro call, because that way I really get to know them in a better way than I would in a 30-minute call. I don't like the selection process to be rushed because that can prove to be painful later over a long period of time.
Awesome.
If I'm working with somebody for 3 months, I'd rather, and I also offer multiple free calls, up to 3 free calls before if I'm unsure, I'll do I'd rather give away a couple of free calls rather than get stuck with a ongoing beta client.
For sure. Okay, who else?
I dropped mine in the chat, but I learned, again, like Jennifer, I needed you when I started, girl. I learned the hard way that people love to waste your time.
Yes.
My intro call became paid, and I also have a little questionnaire that I send out, and I have forms that are like cute, like, oh, what area do you want to focus on? But really to get to like, what kind of client are you? And then I review that before I even accept the call. So I got very particular about my intake from the one-on-ones because people love to waste your time.
Yes. So I have two that I can share. I've done this for a lot of businesses. One of them was a t-shirt screen printing company, and we created, they needed to systematize anyway. So we created a whole entire system that their clients had to follow to give them the right stuff. If they can't follow the system, which is just upload your stuff to this one place, do not text this to me, that type of thing, they're usually not the right client. They're just going to cause problem after problem after problem because they can't go with the flow. They can't make things work for them. And maybe there's a different business that's better for them, but that was one we did there. Another one, when I was a photographer a million years ago, the session itself was free. And then I just charged for prints. But the caveat was that they had to pay me if they missed the session. And so that right there started Xing people out because people were coming just for free. People were coming in all over the place and just taking advantage of my time. And so we just added that one little fee on top of everything. You have to give me a credit card number before you can start. And it got rid of most of our foes in there for sure. That was kind of a fun way to do it. Okay. Publish, shipping, return. Nice. Okay. So these are your guys' next steps. This is all of my content for you guys. Like I'm done teaching you. This is all I have. We're getting done in plenty of time for questions. What I need you guys to do, or what you're going to do next, is finish mapping out your foes and how to keep them out, and then actually implement that system, whatever that looks like. The other thing, I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. I'm so sorry. I also want you guys to write down really quickly what you're going to do when people already show up in your business and are yelling at people. So when you realize you have a foe, I want you to make a plan for how to get rid of them. I want you to know what you're going to do when you're in this situation. Does this look like, I'm opting for the one that says, hey, I'm so sorry, we're not a great fit. There was a question above that said, do you give them their money back? What does that look like? It depends how much time they took from you, right? So t-shirt screen printing company, if you already made all of their stuff and now they're demanding all of their money back, hard pass. I already gave you the product. We've already done it. If you're at the end of your 6-month program and now they want their money back, no. If you're at the beginning and they're standing at your register yelling at your cashier, sure, here's your money and I will keep your stuff. You get to decide what that looks like exactly for your business, but I want you to know what it looks like. Like, write it out so you know what that looks like, how you're telling somebody to, I'll see you later, to go away, and how you're going to handle that situation. So I'm going to sit here in silence for like 30 seconds because it's the most that I can sit in silence. And you guys write that out. What is your plan for when you realize you have someone that you need to offboard? What does that look like? I had to mute myself, but I think I did it. Okay, now we're on to the next steps. I need you to finish mapping out your foes, write them out, who they are, and how to keep them out, and then start implementing whatever that process looks like for you. If this is a really long onboarding process, start setting that up. So when you see that, when they're coming, you already have something to kind of help keep the right people in and the wrong people out. Make sense? I kind of slaughtered that sentence. Okay, but keep writing that, finish that all up. The next step is to come back next week. We're going to talk about frustrators, which is a lot different. There's different types of people in your business. So definitely come back. And then I do have a workshop for launching your business. And it's down here where you can click the button to come do the workshop. If you are still making under $50,000 in your business and you can't crack that, there is something wrong in the core foundation of your business. Really up to $80,000. If you're having a problem there, there's usually something wrong that we want to talk about. So come to that. I can help you. We can chat more there.